Is this the dream? The dream of taking your hard-earned nursing skills and building a new life in the United Kingdom? For years, that dream was not only real, it was wide open. The UK wasn't just welcoming international nurses. It was actively searching for them, almost desperately. But here's the hard truth. In 2025, that dream has become a minefield. The once open door has narrowed to a tiny crack. The incentives and opportunities you heard about from colleagues a few years ago, free flights, paid accommodation, generous relocation packages, belong to another era. Today, the story is very different. And you deserve the truth. No sugarcoat, no illusions, just facts, strategy, and a clear picture of your future. Not long ago, between 2018 and 2021, the UK was in a frenzy to recruit nurses. NHS trusts and private providers rolled out the red carpet. They covered flights, visas, housing, even exam fee reimbursements. Demand was so high that opportunities seemed endless, and international nurses were highly sought after. But fast forward to today, and the landscape is almost unrecognizable according to Nursing and Midwifery Council (NMC) data. Between April 2024 and March 2025, the number of internationally trained professionals joining the UK register fell by nearly a third, down 32%. This marks the first decline in 6 years. Recruitment from key countries such as India, the Philippines, and Nigeria has dropped sharply. So what changed? Why did the UK go from "we need you now" to "the line is closed"? 1. Government policy shift. The NHS has rolled out a long-term workforce plan, a 15-year strategy with one clear mantra: train, retain, and reform. The goal: to slash reliance on international nurses. Currently, nearly a quarter of the NHS workforce comes from overseas. The new plan aims to cut that to under 10% by the mid-2030s. The government is investing heavily, more than £2.4 billion, to expand domestic training, doubling medical school placements and adding 24,000 new nursing and midwifery training slots each year by 2031. The message is crystal clear. The UK wants to grow its own workforce and reduce dependence on international recruitment. 2. Ethical restrictions. The Red List. You may have heard of the Red List, now formerly called the WHO Health and Social Care Workforce Support and Safeguards List. Updated in 2023, it highlights 55 countries with the most critical health workforce shortages, including Nigeria, Ghana, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Under the WHO code, wealthier countries like the UK are discouraged from recruiting health workers from these nations to avoid deepening their crises. What does this mean for you? It doesn't stop individual nurses from applying independently, but it does prevent NHS trusts and agencies from actively recruiting in those countries. As a result, the pipeline has tightened dramatically. The script would then continue with the third major reason: likely financial pressures or policy complications. Depending on your full draft, perhaps the most decisive factor shaping today's reality is the economic situation. Sponsoring an international nurse has become incredibly expensive for UK employers. Let's look at the numbers. Certificate of Sponsorship (COS) as of April 2025. Each certificate now costs £525. Immigration Skills charge ISC for medium and large employers like NHS trusts. This fee is £1,000 per year of the visa. That means for a 3-year visa, the upfront cost alone is £3,000. Importantly, this fee cannot legally be passed on to you, the applicant. Now add in legal fees, administrative costs, relocation logistics, and more before an employer even pays for your first paycheck or flight. Sponsoring one nurse can cost thousands of pounds, with the NHS already under severe budget pressure and the wider UK economy navigating a cost of living crisis. Those generous relocation packages from a few years ago have all but disappeared. Quite simply, the money isn't there anymore. A new reality, a new strategy. So where does that leave you? With government policy shifting toward domestic training, ethical rules restricting recruitment, and soaring sponsorship costs, the old path, waiting at home for a fully funded relocation package, is now a rare exception. But it's not impossible. The path has simply changed. If you have determination, financial resources, and the will to succeed, there is another route that is proving more effective, though it carries higher risk. Many call it the self-sponsorship or self-funded route. Here's how it works. Step 1. Pass your exams at home. This part hasn't changed. You'll still need to pass your English language test (IELTS or OET) and the first part of the nursing assessment, the computer-based test (CBT). Step 2. Secure a standard visitor visa. Instead of waiting for an employer to sponsor you, you apply for a standard visitor visa, valid for up to 6 months. UK government rules clearly allow you to enter the country for this purpose. To sit the objective. Structured clinical examination (OSCE), closing parenthesis. Application fee, about £127. Requirements: proof of sufficient funds, a confirmed OSCE booking, and evidence of strong ties to your home country to show you'll leave after your exam. Step 3. Travel. Take the exam and pass. This is where the investment comes in. You cover your own flight, accommodation, and OSCE exam fee. You travel to the UK, sit the exam, and if successful, you complete your Nursing and Midwifery Council NMC registration to receive your PIN. And that right there is the game changer. With your NMC PIN in hand, you're no longer just an aspiring candidate, you're now a fully registered UK nurse. The biggest hurdle for employers, the OSCE process, has already been cleared. That makes you a far more attractive, lower cost and lower risk hire. At this stage, you can apply for nursing roles. While you cannot work on a visitor visa and must return home first, you can then secure sponsorship under the Health and Care Worker visa far more easily. Final advice: think beyond the NHS. When you reach this point, don't focus solely on the large NHS hospitals. Remember, the NHS is the most cash-strapped employer in today's market. Instead, broaden your search. Explore opportunities in private hospitals, care homes, mental health facilities, and independent clinics. These employers often feel less financial strain and may offer sponsorship more readily. If you decide to pursue this self-funded path, it's vital to think beyond the NHS. The private sector offers opportunities that many overlook. Private hospitals and clinics, these organizations operate under different funding models and often have more flexibility to sponsor qualified candidates. Nursing and care homes. This is one of the largest and fastest growing sectors in the UK. Many care homes are privately owned and constantly searching for registered nurses. Unlike the NHS, they aren't as directly impacted by government budget constraints, which can make them more open to sponsoring a nurse who already holds an NMC PIN. Understand the risks. Let's be clear. The self-funded route is not without risk. You are investing thousands of your own money with no guaranteed job at the end. It requires careful financial planning, strong confidence in your abilities, and a willingness to accept uncertainty. This is why it's critical not to put all your eggs into one basket. Look beyond the UK. Remember, the UK is not the only country that values your skills. Nations such as Canada, Australia, and New Zealand continue to run active international recruitment programs, each with their own immigration pathways, many of which may be more straightforward and cost-effective than the UK's current process. Do your research. Explore every option. The bottom line: the journey to becoming a nurse in the UK in 2025 is tougher, more expensive, and requires a very different strategy compared to just a few years ago. The golden era of easy recruitment is over. But here's the truth. For nurses who are well-informed, strategic, and willing to invest in themselves, the dream is not dead. It's simply more challenging and waiting for those brave enough to forge a new path. Your voice matters now. I want to hear from you. Are you a nurse who has already gone through this process? Are you considering the self-funded route yourself? Share your story, your questions, and your experiences in the comments below. Your journey could be the guide another nurse needs to navigate these changing times. Thank you for watching and for continuing to pursue your dream.